In this video and series, we are going to be doing an introduction to different weapon types seen in Battletech, no matter how brief the video. Each one of these will be first set in the original era of Battletech, and then we will expand into newer weapon systems with time. The first weapon system we are going to be tackling is the simplest system in the game, which is Autocannons. Autocannons are ballistic weapons in Battletech at the tank and mech scale. There is some degree of confusion as to what these are as a whole, not insofar that they are big guns, but insofar as to how they operate. The truth is, there is no universal way which autocannons operate. Some autocannons are rapid-fire weapons, spewing out thousands of 30mm rounds at a target at lightning-fast speeds, shredding through armor and destroying it. Other autocannons are enormous cannons, scaled between 90mm cannons, roughly the size of a World War II anti-tank gun, all the way through to 203mm cannons, enormous scaled guns larger than any modern tank's main weapon. Then there are those that sit in between, firing in an automatic pace at a large scale such as 100mm, but firing at a slower rate than their extremely small rapid-fire cousins. This has ended up leaving autocannons to fall into different classes. For example, an AC of any sort isn't really a set weapon, but something that is represented by that classification. There is no AC-20. There is for the purposes of the rules, but that 14-ton device inside of that Battlemech is in reality something else. For instance, the Atlas doesn't have an AC-20 in universe. It has a Defiance Mech Hunter autocannon. Its peer, the King Crab, doesn't have an AC-20 either, but instead has twin Imperator D autocannons. This may seem like semantics, and in-game they may operate the same, but in universe they are different guns at different scales that perform slightly differently. Mechwarrior 5 tries to show this by having two different kinds of autocannons at every scale, namely standard autocannons, which are in essence single-shot slow-firing weapons, and burst-fire autocannons that fire a stream of munitions into targets. If this were taken to be even more detailed, there would be different rates of burst fire as well. Autocannons as a weapon set eventually get access to specialist munitions, which can change their rules even more, encompassing everything from flak to armor penetration shells, for instance. Their different sizes and scales dramatically change their rules as well. Autocannons are cheap, reliable, and simple weapons that generate minimal heat. They do variable damage across the board and cover a huge number of functions, everything from anti-air and vehicle work to anti-tank and anti-mech work. For the longest time, they were both the most damaging weapon in the game and the weakest weapon in the game. In our follow-up videos, we will be covering the individual uses, weight, and rules for each class of autocannon in the standard 3025 game, which is namely AC2s, AC5s, AC10s, and AC20s. Thank you for joining me here today. If you enjoyed this content, please consider liking it and subscribing to the channel. There is also a YouTube member program to support this channel as well, and I appreciate the support from members immensely. With that, I will catch you all in the comment section below.